Hey friends, I think I am live. I cannot tell though. Yeah, it says we're streaming. So let's chat. I want to chat with you briefly. So, hello, welcome to this Facebook Live about feeling emotional. I don't know if you're feeling emotional. I am feeling deeply emotional, and I want to give a little bit of perspective around this through the lens of human design and how we are literally in this together. And the reason I'm coming to you through Zoom is so that I can share my screen with you and show you exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm going to share my screen in a moment, but I just wanted to come in, say hello, let's chat about the emotions and what is going on. I'm going to grab my phone so that I can watch for comments, but there's such a delay on comments when I'll just skip the comments for now. I will come back. So let me know if you're watching. Let me know if you catch the replay. Let me know if this resonates for you, and I will come back. I promise I will connect to your comments. I will comment back to you. I will chat with you. If you have questions, I will come back and answer all of your questions. So normally I don't do this through Zoom because it's kind of a pain to see the comments and do it through Zoom, but this way I can share my screen with you. So let me grab this so I can share my screen with you and you can see what we're talking about. So hopefully you can see this. This is in general. There we go. Perfect. Okay. This here, this whole picture, if you have not pulled your chart in human design, you can pull your chart. You can go to jovianarchive.com. You can go to mybodygraph.com. You can go to Genetic Matrix. You can Google human design free chart. There are a ton of places you can go get your free chart. You need your date of birth, you need your birth time, and you need your birth location in order to pull your chart. You're going to pull a chart, and in general, it's going to look something like this. You can see the different colors in this chart. You can see this throat center. This is the throat center. You can see that's brown, meaning it's defined. You can see these lines here. So this is a transit chart. We'll talk about that in a moment. In general, your chart will potentially look something like this. You'll have red lines in your chart as well as the black lines. Red lines indicate unconscious, black lines indicate conscious. We can chat more about that. Just in general, if you have not pulled your chart, grab your chart, and then we can start making these connections. What I want to talk with you about today, though, specifically is the transit and what we are in the middle of right now. So a transit chart, this chart is of the current transits, meaning where the sun is right now, where the moon is right now, where the planets are right now, and how they are impacting the chart. Now, what's interesting about this is because of their current locations, because this is the transit chart, everyone will have these lines. So this here, this is a gate. This half line is a gate. This full line from 12 down to 22 is considered a channel. So all of these lines, because this is a transit chart, all of these lines will also be added to your chart. So if you pull your chart, you may or may not have some of these. For example, in my chart, I do not have this 1222, this long one. I do not have that in my chart. But because it's in the transit chart, it's also in my chart, just like it would be in your chart. As is, well, all of these. It doesn't matter. We could go to any one of them. If they are in your chart, then it's just doubled up on that energy. If it's not in your chart, then it adds to it. Now, each of these gates indicates something different. Again, a gate is a half line. So each of these lines, each of these gates indicate a different energy. They all do something. And this is why right now, in this moment, you may feel a collective emotion, collective energies, collective things going on. We're all experiencing that right now because this center, if you watched my 3-day masterclass, we talked a lot about this center, this one that I'm circling, this brown triangle. This is the emotional solar plexus. The emotional solar plexus is what it sounds like. It is the solar plexus. The center is the solar plexus, and it's the home of the emotions. When this is defined, this means that you have fixed access, consistent emotions. And it also means that you'll have a particular wave, a way that your emotions ebb and a way that they flow. They ebb and flow naturally. They ebb and flow up and down. And we have a lot of shame around our emotions. We have a lot of shame around the low emotions, and there's a lot of conversation around that. So one of the reasons I want to bring this to your attention is certainly to have this conversation around feeling emotional, also partly so that we can have a conversation around normalizing the low, because the low is part of the emotional wave. If you have this defined, even without this transit chart, if you have this defined in your chart, you will have highs, you will have lows. And what that looks like will depend on which wave you have in your chart. Now, if we look at your chart together, I can see your chart, and then I can speak to you more about that wave, that particular wave that you have defined in your chart, should you have the emotional solar plexus colored in brown like you see it here. Now, for everyone else, we all have an emotional wave right now, because the transit chart is giving us this emotional wave because of this channel, this 1222 channel colored in. And this 1222 channel is a particular wave. It's one of the 4 waves. The waves vary, and it's really important to understand the waves, especially again, if you have this defined in your chart, even without the transits. But right now, because of the transits, I know I'm repeating myself, but I really want you to understand this. So I want to speak to it in a very simple tone, a very simple way, so that it makes sense and it lands for you. Because we all have this defined right now because of the transits, we all have an emotional wave that we are experiencing. Now, depending on what else you have defined in your chart, even if this is undefined for you, you may have another wave in addition to this. So if, for example, you have the 36 defined for you, meaning that this is colored in either red or black, this would connect to this 35 and make a full channel. So you would have a second wave in your chart. So there are up to 4 waves. There are people I know that have all 4 waves defined right now because of the different connections in their chart. That's important to understand. What I want to talk to you about, though, is this wave 1222, because this is something, like I said, because it's the transit, we all have this in common right now. We all have this in common right now. Can I say it again? We all have this in common right now. Now, this wave is an interesting one. It's important to understand, and I'm sharing, so maybe you will recognize yourself in this. This wave, the 1222 wave, is a fast up and a fast down, meaning you're going to hit a high, and before you know it, you're going to hit a low. You might just be swimming along with your day, and all of a sudden it feels like you just got smacked. Like, think of yourself standing in the ocean and you're just swimming along, and you're laughing and you're playing and things are great, and then your back is turned to the waves, and all of a sudden a wave comes in. It takes you, it knocks you down out of nowhere, and it feels like a thunder, right? It just whoosh, and you like swallow all that water. Have you ever done that? I have. You swallow all that water, you struggle, you stand back up, you get yourself cleared out, and then there you are playing in the ocean again, playing. But the moment that wave hits, it just whoosh, it just takes you down. So it's a fast up and a fast down, this 1222 wave. Now, what's interesting about this wave, and if we're all experiencing this one at a minimum right now, we could all be having fast up and fast down simultaneously or at different times. So you might be fast up, fast down in this moment, and someone else might be fast up, fast down in the next moment. And it can be very discombobulating, not knowing moment to moment if it's going to hit you or not. If you find yourself crying for no reason, being angry for no reason, being upset for no reason, or if you happen to be in Minnesota or anywhere else and there's challenges going on, you may be taking all that in, and you're taking it in, and then it just sends you up and sends you crashing. And then you crash and you're okay. And you come back to this mostly mellow place, especially if you're typically undefined in this center. You come back to this kind of a cool, calm, collected, and then it will just hit you again, kind of out of the blue. And then whew, you get through it, you stand back up, and then you move forward again, mostly cool, calm, collected. But again, it can feel a little discombobulating because we don't know when it's coming. It's this unexpected. When it does hit, though, it generally hits, it will release itself, and then you're kind of back to this cool, calm, collected. Now, for me, that's typically the case, especially right now. I don't have another wave defined. If you have another wave defined, meaning if you have another channel that connects to this. So if you have this channel, if you have this channel, the 3740, if you have the 659, if you have the 4919, if you have the 5639 or the 3041, if you, well, the 3639, or I'm sorry, the 5539, that's the same wave as this fast up, fast down. But any of these other ones are a different wave. If you also have those defined, you may experience this in a different way because those waves will also come into play. If you only have the 2212 or you also have the 3955, if you only have those, then you may experience it the way that I'm telling you, this fast up, fast. The point of me sharing this is because I want us to have compassion. I want us to have a little more grace. I want us to have a little more kindness for ourselves, for those around us, for our communities, for the people we love, for the people we don't love, for the people we're learning to love, for the people we don't know. I just want us to have a little more compassion, a little more grace, a little more kindness. And I believe if we have a little more understanding about what's going on for humanity, maybe we can bring in that compassion, that grace, and that kindness. And so understanding that we all have our emotional solar plexus defined right now with at least, at a minimum, this fast up, fast down wave, we can recognize when it shows up. This wave came crashing in on me earlier today. And since then, it took me out. And I had a good cry. I actually bawled my eyes out. Had a good cry, which is totally unlike me because I'm generally cool, calm, collected, especially when I'm by myself. Had a big cry and then return to cool, calm, collected. And then the clarity can come in. And then we move through and we keep experiencing life. We keep going. And then if that wave comes back again, if we feel that fast up, fast down, and it takes us again, we take a breath. We stand up. We breathe. We bring in grace. We bring in compassion. We bring in kindness. And we do our best to remember that every single human on the planet is experiencing this right now as well. Let me know what questions you have. Let me help you clarify this. If you want to dig deeper into your design, let's connect. Let's get a reading. If you've had a reading and want to go even deeper, we can do a follow-up. We can do a follow-up conversation and take it even deeper. There are so many depths within human design. And there's a lot of depth within this that we can explore. So I'm going to send you big love this day. And may you feel compassion. May you feel some grace. May you feel some kindness wash over you if you're experiencing a little extra emotion right now. It's going to be something that's there. So I'm going to send you big love. Let me know. Let's connect. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.